Meeting is recorded.
All right, highs and lows.
I can start. Highs. I finished Attack on Titan and I'm like up to date. Last episode came out last Sunday and it was fire, dude. It was fire. Lows. We had an English in class essay and we all did bad. Yeah.
It's a new teacher that replaced Miss Russell. Yeah, but yeah, he's a U Chicago graduate. So yeah, you
Nah, he's a terrible grader.
Sweet, I'll go.
That
High is the amount of times I've had to debate myself and be like, do I want to go out and chill with some college folks, or do I want to stay inside and do my diversity and inclusion training? And as of now, here's the low. As of now, I still have not finished my diversity and inclusion training. Um, so that's that, but that is it'll take me 2 hours. So not that bad, but also not that good.
yeah.
I'll popcorn Jonathan.
Okay. Um, Gotta think of highs. Um, I've gotten most of my stuff done for the week. Like this week I've had a lot of tests and quizzes, and like most of them that I have for the week are done. So that's a high. It definitely makes me feel good. Low is that tomorrow is probably the most stressful out of all of them. So it'll be a high once I'm done with it. We have our I was telling Josh about this. I'm in Euro and we have our first like DBQ tomorrow, but it's like last time we had a DBQ because it was practice, like she gave us the documents beforehand. It's like this time, like we're just like going into it like 60 minutes. Like we just don't have we just get the documents then. So it's gonna be kind of like tense to like write under like timing and pressure like that, but it'll be fine. I'm ready for it. I feel like so.
yeah, that's the spirit. Been there, done that. I think we all can agree.
Thank you. Appreciate it. So
All right.
Oh my bad. I think Mila just killed a chicken.
It's actually an art form known as emoji distribution. So I can do my I can do my highs and lows. I guess I can start with a low because that's on my mind, I guess. I didn't do as well as I would have liked on my last APUSH test, but it's okay. And then a high is that I recently finished a book, so yeah, that's kind of it. That's all I have. Oh, and also, I've gotten good at emoji arts. Fun fact.
Hey Mila, you want a cool trick for your APUSH?
Yes,
A
please.
good tip. Don't
Yeah.
do the reading. Don't do the reading.
Yeah, I haven't really, and it's not really going well for me.
You should watch Joxy Productions. That's all I did. They have like 10-minute videos on like the period. And all I
Okay.
did was take notes on that and just like memorize the shit, and I did well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Noted.
Joxy Productions.
Okay.
He saved me.
Thanks.
All right. Last, but hopefully not least. I would say probably my high this week is I just really been on top of my schoolwork, and I gotten a lot of extra free time. I really extracted that free time out of my schedule too. I'm getting trying to do some more exercise. I've been sitting at home for the last about 2 months, just chilling, and really need to get that exercise down. But I would say probably my low is probably I got a nice talk by Mr. Hilsebeck, the new English teacher. I did really bad on the English assignment, and he figured out I wasn't reading the book, like I wasn't reading the chapter, and he was not too pleased. Let's just say that.
Dude,
that's
that
tough.
man grades insane.
Yeah.
The highest grades he gave out was a 90.
which is that guy. Just
Yeah,
that
but
guy
no.
right there.
Even then, it doesn't make sense. Like, how do you get an A?
Dude, that's tough. That seems like Dr. Wolf grading, to be honest. But she's actually like a good teacher. She's
Yeah,
a
like-
legitimately good teacher, but she grades so difficult.
Yeah.
Insane.
You gotta meet with them.
I can
Yeah, that's
attest
what
to that.
saved me.
Dude,
That's
Jonathan,
literally what
did you
saved me.
know Dr. Wolf went to Kerala?
Yeah.
Dude,
She-
you told me this story 50,000 times. This kid was in the hallway. This kid in the hallway last year while Dr. Wolf was standing right there. He's literally telling, he's like, bro, you should, why don't you go walk up to her and say that you're from Kerala? He told me that like 60,000 times last year, I swear.
Dude,
കുറച്ച്
she told
മലയാളം
me
വാക്ക് വേണമെങ്കിൽ പറഞ്ഞോ. കുറച്ച് മലയാളം വാക്ക് വേണമെങ്കിൽ പറഞ്ഞോ.
he likes Python.
Dude, how do you know all that, bro?
She told me,
Like,
she's like, I bought a cookbook so I could learn how to cook Python.
Dude, I gave her that book. She didn't buy it. I gave it to her. She asked
Oh,
me,
yeah.
how do you make paisam? I gave it to her. Yeah.
my
It's
goodness.
pretty chill. I think she's probably where your ancestors are. I mean, like your family is the southern
Yeah.
parts, but yeah,
Mm.
that's where she went and
Meeting
visited.
Meeting with her throughout the year literally saved my grade in history class last year. That's literally how I got a good grade. That's it.
And like she's so helpful too. Like
Yeah, she
you
is
know,
helpful.
like Hilsebeck, like he's not helpful at all. Like
He gives good feedback though.
I think his feedback is on point. It's just when I wanted to
Dude,
go and see
He
him after.
commented my entire essay and gave me like insightful suggestions and shit. It was actually like pretty helpful, not gonna lie. But that man's grading is on a whole different level.
Dude, I'm not looking forward to that at all.
Just don't sign up for the class. We both like signed up for it last year because we thought it was like, oh, love and money. How hard could it be? And like this,
Wait,
is
what
like
class is it?
It's called Love and Money.
Love and money?
Yeah. Don't take it.
Yeah,
I took playwriting. Playwriting is the best English class. I'm telling you. Everyone had like a 99 or above. All you do is write whatever you want, like any story you want as a play, and you get to like read other students' plays and just act them out. It's like the most chill, like fun class I've taken.
nice.
for
Even
English.
story and teller is also like really easy. Like I didn't even read like one word of the book at all.
Literally any class with Peace, Cur, or Small, you'll be fine. You'll have
Yeah.
like a 99 in the class
Yeah.
for senior year.
Yeah, Peaceker is really good. I highly recommend taking magical realism if she still teaches that.
Mm.
All right, so we'll get started. Did a couple of things this week, mainly being a bunch of interviews, trying to get some more recruits going, and we'll stay updated with that type of thing. Some really good ideas came from the last one, which were let's have some sort of like summer program for the kids that don't really care about like STEM stuff, and so have a summer program, and then within those like ECs, like just like playing dodgeball or football or one of those activities, you mix in EMT training, stuff like that, or just mix in how do you read a heartbeat, mix in that type of thing, so that can appeal to just really random regular people. And then Josh took an interesting take that we can discuss a bit later in time. And we also talked about through the last like recruiting session is free advertising in the form of having these kids who learn something go and present it to their own schools. So that probably all it will take is having them go through the program and then contacting whoever their teacher is. And we'll see if we can set up a sort of presentation day where they can kind of present what they learned about in class. Hopefully like teachers agree to that, but that is something that we can look into. Some stuff that that will be happening next week on my end is I'll be working with Aditya. We should probably go and figure out a bit more 1023 form stuff, and also that one tax form that we need to fill out as a nonprofit, because tax day is coming up and we want to be able to last through this year. So that is something that we can go and talk about. Then bylaws, I'm going to be looking forward to completing some of those bylaws, doing some actual bylaws drafting sessions. So also look out for that. And hopefully look out for a publicity event meeting next week. So a lot of really good stuff next week planned out. Obviously the interviews, they're all on the spreadsheet, so feel free to reach out to those people, and also any parents, any teachers like that. Just feel free to reach out at any point. And that is all from me. All right, I'll cover for Mila for a bit. She will be sending out another curriculum kind of update. So check Slack for that. I believe we're going to move on to some sort of curriculum meeting because our 4 weeks is basically almost up. And she's also going to be working on the healthcare vaccine webinar. So also stay tuned for that. Does anybody else want to present some stuff?
Yeah, I actually got some good news over the weekend in terms of potentially setting up a partnership with a school. I don't know, Jonathan, I don't know if you, or Mila, I don't know if you guys know Makai, but his mom runs a charter school. It's about 95% African American in the city. She's actually the middle school principal. And I got a chance to sort of have a quick discussion with her, and she seems really excited. She really appreciates the fact that we took, time to go and reach out to her about this. So I think, that's probably a population that we want to target to make sure we are going with our mission of increasing diversity and inclusion in the healthcare field. And as well as I really feel that population, I think it's a population that we can kind of inspire pretty easily. With taking future endeavors in healthcare and making change through that. So I think it's a really good idea and opportunity we have on our ends, and I think we should, in my take, I think it's all pros. So in that sphere, I think the only concern that, and I think we need to keep this in mind as we are creating the curriculum, but I did take a quick look at the school profile index, and it's actually, even though the school is really set on improving it, unfortunately, the social barriers and all, give these children a really hard time to really pursue education. And I think the school has a C- rating from Niche, based on, student output on standardized exams. And I think, we need to just keep that in mind, with regards to how accessible our curriculum can be, because we want to make sure that anyone is able to participate in it, with, of course, minimum basics, but yeah.
Yeah, thanks, Aditya. I'm going to reply to that. I thought it was amazing that you found that. And I do think I completely agree with you. There's a lot of really good potential. They can help with the advertising. They also help with just being able to highlight some racial problems as well. I would answer your concern. I feel like it's not a concern only because we do have a really flexible curriculum. So it's not very rigid. And whoever is like kind of leading that program, that course, can kind of adapt to it. And also that might transition into Josh's little thing that might address it. But we were kind of thinking of doing like an easier version of everything for middle school students. And so we can definitely use one of those curriculum, like toned down curriculums as well. And also we want to try and appeal to those people who might not have like those prior knowledges. So to answer that point, I feel like it's just a different avenue, but I think I think you're doing like really great stuff with that. And I'm very thankful that you found such a thing. Jonathan, you want to go?
Yeah, sure. So as of late, I've gotten a couple more videos for the episode that I was trying to make. I'll get that done. If people still don't respond, I have at least 4 or 5 by now. So I'll still make the video and just publish it. I mean, it's okay. Like, I know sometimes people are busy. We don't have to have everyone for every single video. So I'll just put that together, post that on the social medias. I know me and you were talking about, I'm starting to come up with more ideas on what to post, like in terms of just like reaching out. So just be on the lookout. I might sometimes just reach out to one of you guys, kind of just get an update of what you're doing, like what's happening in your world, and just kind of like share that on social media just to let people know like what we're actively doing. So that's that. Like I said, I'll probably have the video out by at least this weekend, and then I'll start posting. After that, I'll definitely get like 2-3 posts out a week. And even like if I'm not like, I don't even have to post serious stuff too. Like I was joking with Jeremy, like I can always post like funny stuff just to put smiles on people's faces. Cause like at the end of the day, like I'm gonna alert people about what we're doing, but like we're humans too, and like we all have fun. Even in these meetings, like we're always like just joking around with each other. And so like sometimes whenever we have that one meeting each month where we're just like playing games just for fun, like I'll probably just put some like record some of the stuff from that video and just put on social media and just kind of do like a recap or something. So that's that. I'm going to start posting. And also I know, at least for me and Aditya, we set up an interview with Dr. Kinzer. It's next Wednesday, I believe. So I'll be doing that. And then Jeremy, I was going to talk to you about this. So as far as what you said in the group chat in terms of me and Rohan doing interviews, I'd 100% be down. The only thing is that, like I was telling you, I haven't really conducted an interview yet. So I'd say that after I do this meeting with Dr. Kinzer next Wednesday with the detail and I kind of see how an interview works, I'd definitely be down to like actually conduct one with Rohan. And I mean, even if it's people we haven't met, I'm sure he'd be open to it too. And we can just handle that. So.
Yeah, 100%. And also let me know if you can't find anyone. I'm always down to help.
Okay. And also, I mean, we have a bunch of teachers that I could already think of that I can ask at school. So I can also reach out to and send an email.
Perfect.
Yeah, Jonathan, I'm looking forward to meeting with Dr. Kinzer tonight. I think he can really give us some good insight on, using education, as a social aspect, because it really aligns well with, his World Hunger class, his World Health class, classes like that. So yeah. And Josh and I, we reached out to Miss Luke Aswicks for a potential meeting too. Like, of course, if you've had her, she really has a really strong, background working with, really diverse groups of people, from a jail to, one of these inner city schools. And, I feel like she'd had really good insight in, using education to make a social change. So she's definitely a really good aspect, really good person we could have from that end. And I just wanted to ask one more thing too, and I do apologize. I was not able to come to these last two meetings, but I was wondering if one of you guys could just give me a really quick update on, regarding the webinar stuff, as well as, if I can do anything, this week, next week, look pretty free to me since college apps are all done. And I want to make sure I'm not hitting senioritis too soon.
Yeah, dude, for sure. So I could talk about the both in tandem. So we have, obviously, about the vaccine one that's going to be happening later in the week or later in the process. We're going to have a sort of, I'm going to call it a publicity event first. So that one, like you pointed out, is going to be a good rehearsal of how Zoom webinar etiquette is going to work, how our expected kind of audience is going to work, how they're going to react, stuff like that. And the main purposes are going to be highlighted in a presentation talking about who we are, what we do, why we're here, what we're kind of planning on, and also the big one, why should others care? So it's going to be kind of a presentation. I'll be holding a meeting for that later on next week. So just be on the lookout for that. We're going to flesh out some really nice ideas. I'll probably make a rough draft on what the presentation is going to look like. And we can talk about logistics of that as well, because that's going to really help out with the vaccine webinar. So we're kind of killing two birds with one stone with both of those things. And I think Mila is going to get a lot of inspiration from it. So it really honestly is pretty efficient. I hope that answers that.
Yeah, I think that's great. And I from my last meeting, I remember we were talking about setting something up with Misty Domenico, as a way to get some more eyes into our webinar, with the global studies and kind of managing that with the point system too, to make sure, there is a little bit of incentive also going into this too. So how's that going? I see Mila just gave a thumbs up, but.
Yeah, I mean, that is definitely something. I think she can't speak right now, but I think that is something that we can definitely look into. And I'm not sure if we're going to be able to get credits for that, or if we're able to get like other students, global studies students credits for it. But I definitely do also agree it's worth a shot. And also Pete Schramm did say reaching out to Kate Long and also Brendan Schneider, Mr. Schneider would also help. And that is something to do as well. And then this is a big one. So I saved the longest discussion for last with Josh, if you want to highlight some things.
Yeah. So this evening we had an interview with Zach Rampelt, and he brought in some interesting ideas. And afterwards, Jeremy and I were talking, and like we were just throwing out ideas and just talking back and forth. And then we kind of started wondering, like, how do we make Care for Them like a more established name in the community, and how to like appeal to like people of all areas, I guess, but like be more established first. So what we were thinking was, this is my idea, maybe start off with like appealing more to little kids first, like middle schoolers, fourth and fifth graders, and then incorporate this interesting idea Zach Rampel brought up, which is like have these fun summer activities and incorporate it with like the with Mila's courses and like combine them throughout the day. And like for fourth and fifth graders, maybe we don't need to have the volunteer aspect, but like keep it in for the middle schoolers. Uh, and if we like appeal to little kids first, then it's not like they're gonna like walk out. They're gonna have fun nonetheless. Parents will love it. Uh, what else? I think parents will love it, and then yeah, it would be like easier, right?
Yeah, way easier to visualize.
Yeah,
So if I'm gonna say it again, like simpler, it's basically instead of doing our initial like idea of let's have 4 programs out, let's have
Yeah.
this summer program out, and appeal to like 5 different population subsets of these hardcore STEM people,
yeah,
the kind of curious STEM people, and these kind of I don't know people that are interested in healthcare and just application science, and then also potentially adults. Having all of those subsets was kind of a very big stretch. It was like hard to visualize.
yeah.
But
And it's
go
like
ahead.
huh?
Keep going. My bad.
Okay, my bad. It's like for little kids though, like you don't need to, as Jeremy mentioned, like bring in all the like hardcore STEM research opportunities and everything. We're just trying to like help them foster like an interest in STEM, and then show them the like injustices of healthcare in America, right? That's like the main point of Care for Them. And like if we just introduce that to little kids, make them have fun at the same time, parents are gonna love it, and it's gonna be easier for us to like transition to like another class geared towards like older students, like high schoolers, who we need to like put in more effort and like think of like more fun activities and like more intense research opportunities, because like we don't want them to feel like they're wasting their time. And if like we already have a good name in the community, then high schoolers would have like more of an incentive to join us. So like if we just build us, huh?
My bad.
Ah, you're good. No, what were you saying?
So I know Aditya, you want to jump in here. I'm just gonna say this really point and then mute myself. So the entire idea, the plan, the proposal is instead of doing all of them when we're actually opening up to the public, we're still gonna make it all in the background. It's still like we're still gonna keep going, proceeding with what we're doing. But the plan is to open it up to middle school students and like fourth and fifth graders, and having only 2 programs initially get released of let's have a extracurricular program with like dialed down. We're going to have this like super easier application class with extracurricular kind of just summer actual fun activities.
Yeah.
Forget about the community building aspect of like volunteering. And then we're going to have one for middle schoolers that includes the volunteering plus the other 2. And so everything else is still the same, but it would just be releasing less, and we would still be saving our other programs.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I just wanted to add, I think, I really like that idea of targeting the little kids. And I feel like, one of the little bit of concerns I did have going into this, especially with the high schoolers, and if we were doing like a fusion between high schoolers and middle schoolers, I feel like, we really want to, and I'm really emphasizing that, quality versus quantity aspect too. We really want to make sure that what we're doing is good because, that's kind of the only way we can really grow as a business is to really make sure, we are doing something different. We're doing something that's of high quality and high caliber, and students are learning out of this. And I feel like, with the younger kids, and, that's really why I like the middle school range a lot. It's because I think, that age, people can start to, get a good gist on, what they like to do. But at the same time, they're not really, all right, yeah, see you later, Mila. I think, at that time, they're not really, too much under the pressure, given a high school format too of, making their college application shine good. High schoolers are more incentivized to do activities that, enhance their college application, of course. And I think, middle schoolers, if you were really trying to go forward with the aspect of bringing a change and inspiring students to bring on a change, by, engaging in community building activities and stuff like that, I think middle schoolers should be the population I think we can, really well handle too. And as well as, the parents really matter a lot too, in a way for us to really gain a credibility, among the adult community. I think, parents really need to speak something positive about us. So I think, parents would be more inclined to, send their kids off. They might be working or, they might be engaging something, they drop their kids off to a camp or a course or a curriculum that we're teaching, in whatever format that might be. I think that can serve us well. Yeah.
Yeah, another thing I want to add is that I feel like it's crucial for these next 4 years until we get replaced with the next officers or whatever. It's like I feel it's very crucial to focus on growth and to actually just like establish a reputation amongst the local community. Because like in 4 years we're going to be replaced, and I feel like just getting there, even if we hit the stones little by little, like building ourselves up, I think it's like important we just like focus on that and just make it easier for the next whatever officers to continue the legacy we made. So yeah.
Yeah, totally agree. I think, and one other thing I wanted to mention too, I am getting a little bit dissing by the timing, especially right now, since we are, a little bit into January. Like, when do you guys think we can really get started on these webinars and, make them public? Just because I feel like, in order for us to successfully be able to manage summer camps by the end of the summer, I think, we should really get the ball rolling on that.
I can answer that. End of February for the publicity one, and we'll probably wait for end of March for the next one. So those are going to be the target goals, and that means a lot of kind of setting it up now, Jonathan. That means probably busy times ahead, but we're going to be trying to push for that, and it's pretty important that we kind of hash out what the results are going to look like, kind of, so that we can give those to Jonathan to go and advertise. So we're gonna look to move. I was also kind of talking with Josh about it. I think it'd be quite funny if we did like a challenge of, let's say, given, I don't know, whatever week that you guys are more chilling. If it's a break week, then be a break week. But I'm gonna set a challenge for all of you guys. If you can produce 3 times the amount of work that we normally produce in 1 week, I'll get you guys some, I don't know, some food or whatever on Amazon. Send it straight to your house.
Yeah, that's dope. And Jeremy, I really feel like if you really get the ball hitting, like, if we have targets, we have to do this in 1 week. I feel like, we could all get a little bit more, inclined to get motivated on this thing too, because, time, can be spent however you want it to be. So that's why. But when do you think that is the COVID-19 webinar, is that the same thing as a publicity one you're talking about? Or are we doing that a little bit before?
No, so the COVID one is gonna be after the publicity one. So we're
For
gonna
that one, are you thinking of like this summer?
like hold it during the summer. No, we're gonna hold it like before the summer.
Okay, and what
Like-
about the like the summer course?
Yeah, all our courses are gonna be. Let's try and hash them out like end of May. That's 5, right? Yeah, like right before summer, the month before summer.
Okay, and when are the actual courses going to take place?
Start of summer.
Start of summer.
Yeah.
Okay, we
So that-
have to figure out like how to get kids to sign up, right?
Yeah, and also one of the concerns that I wrote down while you guys were talking were we need background checks too if we're gonna work with young kids. So that is something that we can go and look into. Maybe that school can help out with that, but we're
Yeah.
gonna need like a third party plus I forget the actual requirements, but we are gonna need background checks. And after we do that, it'll be good to go.
Yeah.
And I think what we kind of talked about were initial classes are going to be held virtually, and the class structure. We can also call quits on interview, or not call quits, but have an interview meeting with the board next month and talk about kind of overall what we learned through interviews, because that can just highlighting that with the entire group can help hash out what these things are actually going to look like, the courses.
Actually,
That on that.
Actually, I really feel like, once, I mean, the only reason why I feel like we're doing the interviews is to really get the community feedback and, help us, help us shape our plans. The other thing is, and of course, to make sure that, we're doing stuff. But I really feel like those interviews can kind of start to, taper away and, potentially even cease. Once we start those webinars, just because I think by then we would have enough people and enough perspectives to get that understood. I just want to make sure that we're kind of focusing on, just focusing on that during that time. That's why.
Yeah, so the entire purpose of the interviews is to get feedback on what aspects of an extracurricular are important. So yeah, the benchmark that Fast Forward You kind of gave us is 30, which is decent number. But yeah, we'll just hit around that and have that board meeting, and yep, we'll call it a day with those.
Yo, how did Fast Forward You work out?
What do you mean?
Sorry for interrupting you. I think it was lagging a little bit, but I thought you were done talking. But how is the Fast Forward You working out from JHU? Did they accept the business plan?
Oh, so the application for that is actually a bit later, but I can go and hit them up and see, what other advice they have, because we can just walk in after the interviews. She was like, yeah, come back whenever you're done with 30 interviews. So I'll definitely go and check back with them. It's like a mentorship, or not a mentorship program, but like, it's just, we can go and just ask for help with it. Yep.
Cool. But yeah,
Oh, go ahead.
sorry, I never talked a lot. you
You're
guys
good,
can
man.
go on.
I mean, I don't have much to say. I was just gonna say, like, I basically agree with everything you guys have said. I think it's like good to target like younger kids, especially like with the leisure activities you guys are talking about. Like, put them in there because that'll especially grab like young kids' attentions and stuff. So, in terms of like, the only question I really had was like, in terms of with COVID and stuff, like, how are you gonna plan to do these courses in the summer? Like, have you really thought about it? Like, have you gone that far yet?
A little bit, to be quite honest, not as far as I'd like, but a little bit. So just from what the interviews that I've done have highlighted is the courses, and obviously like we should talk about it later, but the courses initially should be on Zoom because we don't really have any other space. If
Yeah.
we wanted to do extra kind of sports activities or some of those activities, it would just be on a public field like North Park.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna have like teacher leaders, peer leaders like us, or anybody who wants to volunteer during the time. We're gonna have them go through background checks, and then we're gonna have like advisories that then bring you to different spots. So the entire idea with that is you're going to have some person who might not teach you specifically a program, but will end up following you through your time with Care for Them, because we really want them to come back. So the entire idea of that is building up that camaraderie, or like just team building, teamwork, through just maintaining with your little small group. And then you might take different courses, programs with us, but you're gonna always have that support group as well. So you're gonna have like an advisory and also a class.
I like that. That's like a like kind of like a summer camp, kind of like counselor type feeling. Yeah, I like that. I like that.
That's what we're kind of shooting for with it. I think the goal in like the upcoming years, something that we can bridge into, is having some sort of extracurricular during the school year. So that is
Yeah.
something that like we can kind of bridge into. And I'd like to just like turn the conversation back just a little bit, because we've only heard the viewpoints of like, yeah, let's do middle school. So I'm gonna give a little bit on like why maybe we can consider not doing that, just to play devil's advocate. So at first I was initially reluctant in doing this and agreeing with Josh, because a lot of what we can do here in 4 years is limited. So partially I wanted to like speed up the process and really iron it out next year. So that kind of meant, hey, let's do as much as we can first year. Let's do as much as we can second year, and do as much as we can third year. So that was kind of the mentality. And with that, the pros of doing that is we get a ton of feedback. We get the potential of that is way higher than what the middle school one would be. So those are just kind of my thoughts on the other side of things, because there's always two sides, pros and cons to everything.
Yeah, I totally understand that approach. You know, I really like the fact that, you know, you really want to just give everything, you know, we can get a try, give it a shot, see which one works the best, and just expand from there. And of course, I do have my little bit of limitations. I mean, sorry, not limited, but a little bit of my concerns. You know, making sure we are emphasizing the quality of the things too. And I really think, you know, given 4 years, and I know we're going to be in college, but, you know, just think about it, the environment is going to really change. You know, we're going to have a lot more access. And I feel like, you know, that's a type of environment, you know, we could really, you know, emphasize. And whatever colleges we end up in, you know, Josh, Jonathan, in the future, you know, that format could really help us out. And I really think that, you know, if you bring this idea into the college endeavor, once you reach there, we can really accelerate the growth we can, you know, given the massive resources where we end up. I think, you know, we can achieve a lot in 4 years. I mean, just take a look at Steel City Codes, for example. I think they literally started less than 4 years ago, and right now, you know, they're expanding internationally. I think they got like chapters in India. I think they got it in China too. And, you know, they really grew. I mean, they were just like, you know, where we started off too. They just, you know, I think just had like, you know, one little cohort. And, you know, the next year they were really able to expand aggressively. So, yeah.
Dude, that dude is a sweat. Holy shit.
I mean, I'm really saying that if we, you know, do, and I think it's definitely possible, we can definitely do it. We can definitely, you know, get somewhere if we put our mind to it, for sure. So yeah.
All right, cool. Any other thoughts on that? No, we good? All right, we'll bring that up to the board. Any other ideas, concerns, anything like that before we move on to the summation?
No.
All right, cool. Everybody ready?
Say cheese. I'm kidding.
Jeez, the camera. All right, I'm gonna put my hand up so that I know when to start the trim. All right, welcome to the recap. This week we've done a ton of material in the form of a bunch of interviews, learned some great things on the recruitment process as well, such as having some sort of summer program that includes like EMT training, and that'll appeal to a different subset of population. Really like that idea. We got to work on 1023 form for the nonprofit, and also bylaws. We have publicity event planning going on as well next week. Still got a bunch of interviews to do, and we also have to go and do the curriculum planning and I think Mila will tackle the just planning. I don't think there's going to be a meeting for the COVID webinar as well. So those are the types of things. Aditya kind of worked on the partnership with the school. So that will be coming up as well. Jonathan is going to start working on the media posts, and Ms. Di Domenico plus Long and Schneider contacts that will be occurring as well. And we also need to bring up a huge kind of question on what we're going to do this summer in the form of either doing middle school only or continuing what we're doing. So that'll be all covered next board meeting. But this week was a productive one, and we'll see you next week.